Okay, and so at this part of the build we are ready to glue it up, and as I've mentioned previously, we recommend using Yoo-Hoo or Evo or something of that variety, because PLA, as I mentioned, is not a petrochemical product. It is not the same as polystyrene. It is based on vegetable starch, and therefore your liquid poly, which is designed to melt the plastic slightly, won't do very much with PLA. It'll stick a little bit where the glue is, but it will eventually come undone. So always use contact adhesive when you're sticking together our PLA models, and I would recommend it for the resin as well. So anyway, so here we go with the first corner, and I think the obvious thing here is, as you could see, we left the chamfers unpainted. This gives the glue something to stick to. And right now, as you can see, the important thing is making sure that you get that corner absolutely spot on. Now, I considered using another wall as the guide to make sure it's square, and quickly had second thoughts on that, just in case some glue got on it and I couldn't get it out. So I turned to the painting palette. So I used that just to hold everything square, and the important thing next is just check, double check, triple check. Make sure that that edge is perfectly aligned, and make sure that it's square. Just look, re-look, triple look, look again, and look again. It may sound tedious, but that is essential if you're going to get this absolutely spot on. It's worth a little bit of time. And what we did as a caution is just leave one wall and one end to dry overnight. As you can see, I'm thinking about the roof. That's the end with the doors. And you can see the unpainted chamfers there. Anyway, moving on to the next day, and I'm now ready to fit the second wall. And it's basically exactly the same thing. You're gluing along the unpainted chamfer with the contact adhesive, putting a very thin layer. You don't need a lot. You do not need a lot. Just a little tiny strip of contact adhesive down the line. You don't want any over gluing, so you just want a very thin strip, just enough to hold the two sides together. And as before, you line it up, check the corner, make sure that you've got that absolutely square on. Neither side is sticking out more than the other. They should be absolutely spot on. It's a very precise 45-degree chamfer, so it should be absolutely spot on. Just make sure it's square. You do get a little bit of adjustability when all this is finished. You don't need to panic too much if it isn't absolutely perfectly square. It just makes it easier, because each corner we like to give 24 hours to dry before we put the next one on. So as you can see, check, double check, check again. I know it's monotonous, but do it and you'll benefit from it, because you only have to do it once. Okay, that's to dry for another 24 hours. I think you know where we're going here. So, as you can see, we've fitted the doors. Now, these were prototype doors, and these doors are fitted with Hornby track pins. The reason for Hornby track pins is that they are slightly thicker than the Pico ones, and they fit perfectly. So, no better reason than that. And as you can see, the doors then are posable. And I've left them unpainted because we're literally trying them on for the first time. So you know, if it was going to go wrong, I could have taken the doors off again. And anyway, we can paint them in situ or take them off again to paint. But once again, the same old routine. And you can see the unpainted chamfer. That's where you put your glue. Nowhere else, just there. This time we're doing 2 corners at the same time. Multitasking. Really pleased with the doors. We've done a little bit of effort since this was filmed, and we've closed the gap slightly. But again, it's a tribute to the design skills of Mark that my doors that I did fit so perfectly to his absolutely perfect design. It really is. He is a genius, and I'm so pleased that he did this for us. So here we go. We're just checking the corners, and again, check, double check, triple check, check again. Make sure you are absolutely 100% happy, because this is the time you can adjust. And it is worth spending the time. As you can see, using the painting palette to make sure it's absolutely square. Like I said, we will get, when all this is dry, you do get a little bit of movement. So don't panic too much. But if you can get it square, it just makes it an awful lot easier. As you can see, the roof there is ready to go on tomorrow, the next day. Check again, triple check, check again. I know it's monotonous, but it's so worth it. Just have a feel, make sure that neither side sticks out too much. They should be absolutely square on. It'll make it almost invisible, the join. So once you're happy, we come back the next day, taking off the distance glasses. And then, now, when we do these kits, we try our very best to get any extra print off. So, for example, the extra supports. But as you can see, I'm pointing to the roof spars, the wooden joists that go out and meet the front and the back. Now, these are critical because the gap is very tight. Now, we do our very best when we do the roofs to get anything over taken off, but it is well worth attacking these with a file just to make sure that there's nothing catching. And once you've done that, as you can see, putting the I've got the camera mounted on it's a GoPro camera mounted to a hat. You can buy these from eBay. Very handy for when you're filming what you're doing. Right, so I've now filed those roof joists, and that allows it to fit absolutely perfectly. Should have no gaps at the front and the back at all. Now, as you can see, my thumb is bowing in the side. It's inevitable with a side that's that big that it will bow a little bit. Okay, so when you glue it, you need to just check along the top where that meets the roof, just to make sure it hasn't bowed in or bowed out, so that you have an even gap all the way along. Anyway, distance glasses off, out with the tiny tube of Yoo-Hoo really handy, these tiny tubes, when you're doing fine work like this and you're just doing a very, very, very thin layer all the way around the top of your finished walls. All the way along and all the way over the top. Again, take your time, don't rush, take it easy, don't panic if a little tiny bit of glue goes over, because when it's wet you can pull it off, and when it's dry you can paint over it. We will touch up all of this when we're finished, but you can see the benefit now of painting everything before you put it together, because if you can imagine trying to reach up into that roof and doing all those details when all of this is glued together, that would be a bit of a challenge, to say the least. So again, carefully gluing all the way down. No need to rush. You've got time with this glue. You've got time. There is no rush. Take it easy. Get it on. Get an even spread. Now, as you notice, the joist, there's a bigger gap at one end than the other, and that allows a little extra room around the doors. Now, as you can see, check the ends, make sure that the two peaks, the point at the top of the ends meets the point on the roof. That's your guide. When you put it down, now's the time to check. Look down on the roof. You can see on that's the side that was bowing in slightly because my thumb was pushing it. Just make absolutely, you should just touch the roof. Just touch the roof. Don't panic if there's a very slight gap. Again, you can touch it up. You can put paint up there. And don't forget, some people will want to add gutters. Now, if you're asking why haven't we put gutters in the kit, well, 3D printed gutters with a PLA printer will not have the detail needed to look good. You're better off buying gutters that are in a kit supplied separately, from one of the suppliers that you'll find at model railway exhibitions or online and at model shops. And we recommend doing that for the gutters if you want to fit them. But as you can see, just gently, just check that it isn't bowed in, and you want to make sure also that it doesn't bow out as well. So you're looking down, you're looking along the top, the join between the wall and the roof to make sure it looks even. You're looking at the points in the middle where the highest point of the roof of the ends meets the point of the roof. And you just gently get, because the glue's not going to be instantly going off, but it is going to be starting now to just take hold. So you want to give it a little bit of memory of where it's meant to be. So you're just checking the walls, making sure that they're just touching, checking the ends, making sure you can't see any gaps. A little bit of pressure applied, nothing, not a lot. It should be absolutely square on. And any slight deviation from being 90 degrees on the corners, you do still have enough movement that the roof can square it up, so that you don't need to panic about that. And as you can see, check, double check, triple check. It's worth taking the time. And you can see with those unpainted doors just how much they stand out without the paint. Which goes to show, the difference that the paint makes. And all those details that you painted earlier were much easier when it was all separate. Now, we are going to finish with finishing touches. This is not finished yet. It's finished enough to be a brand new building, but we haven't weathered it. We haven't added any extra colours and textures. And here we're doing the double checks, the triple checks. It's all about making sure that the building is square, the building is glued properly, that the walls fit nicely. They're not bowed out, they're not bowed in. They're nice and even all the way along the top, nice and even on both sides. Admire your paintwork on the inside. Check the corners. Check for any bits of glue that have strayed in whilst it's still wet. That's what I'm doing there, just pulling a bit out. That's gone. There you go. And all you've got to do is leave that for 24 hours. So what we will do is come back to this, show the finished thing, and add a little bit of weathering at a later date. But right now, with the doors painted, that's the basic building finished.